The student machine runs an operating system called Linux, and in order to use it well, you need to learn some beginner Linux commands. Over time, you'll pick up more and more, but we just need enough to get started. The first thing is something you've seen me do, and that is to type the password command, PASSWD. You'll use this command if you want to change your password in the future. The machine made you change it when you first logged in, but you might want to change it later. You might want to keep your ASU AppleNet password and your student machine password the same, and AppleNet makes you change your password every 90 days, so you might want to do it on the student machine when you do it on AppleNet. To change your password, you need to type that command, PASSWD. It will have you retype your current password one time and then type a new password 2 times. If it doesn't like your password, it will tell you and you'll have to choose a different one. One thing you always want to do when you're finished using the student machine is log out. To do that, you just type this word, log out. There is a file in your home directory. You're given a file when your account is created. Its name is kind of strange. It starts with a dot, which means that when you ask to see a listing of all your files, if you don't ask in a very special way that I'll show you, you will not see this file because it does not display file names that begin with dots. There are a lot of them. They're system files. You would pronounce this seashell RC, which sounds kind of funny, doesn't it? But it's .cshrc. In that file, you can make shortcuts. There is one already in there. A shortcut is called an alias, and the one that's in there right now makes the 2 letters LO a nickname for the 6 letters LOGOUT. So you really don't have to type all of the whole word log out, because when Daryl set up your account, he aliased LO to log out for you. So all you really have to do is type LO and you'll be logged out. The file system on any computer can be kind of complicated. We've been using Windows Explorer to look at files on the Windows system. Here is a diagram that shows the file system of the Linux machine called student. The topmost directory is just called // It contains the whole file system. Some of the directories that are immediately housed inside the / directory are bin, lib, one called u, and one that we pronounce user. There's no e, it's just USR, but we still say user. The U folder or directory contains all of the accounts that belong to the individuals that use this machine, and they're divided into groups. The computer science department has a group called CSD. That's mostly faculty, but also some staff folks. There are graduate students in our department, and CSGS is a group of graduate students, and then there are lots and lots of undergraduates, and that group is called CSS for just computer science students. This is where your account will be housed on the machine. Mine is over here. This is my account, DAP, my initials. Somewhere on the machine, all the different programs that run on the machine have to live. Things like password and log out and all those sorts of things. And here they are. In this user folder, there is a bin folder. BIN stands for binary, and inside there are all of the various commands. Each one is a little program that's housed in this folder, like CD. So the Java virtual machines program is here, so is the Java compiler. Password is here, and an editor that we're going to learn called Vim has its command or its program housed in this bin folder. This is just a very small glimpse into the file system of our student machine. There are many, many more directories, but I wanted to show you how the file system looks like a tree with the root at the top and all of the leaves down toward the bottom. The next command I want to show you is the CD or change directory command. If you are in a folder on the machine, like if I'm in my folder here, and let's say I wanted to go to this folder and look at something that XY Adams has produced, I would need to change directories. To change from the DAP directory to Adams XY, one thing I can do is start at the root and specify an absolute path down to Adams XY. So I could write CD /u /CSS /Adams XY. And that would take me from wherever I am on the machine to the path that starts at the root and goes to Adams XY. Another way to do it is to specify a relative path from where you are up the tree as far as necessary and then down to the place you want to go. To go up, you need to use ... That's one level. So from DAP, I'd go up one level, and then I need to go up another level. I separate those with a slash. Now I'm at U, and I need to go to CSS, and then Adams XY. I'm going to demonstrate the use of these commands that I'm teaching you in a Putty window in just a minute, but before I do, let me show you about 6 more commands. One is the make dir command that lets you make a new directory. This is how you would use it. You'd say make dir and then the directory name that you want to make, and it will place that directory inside the folder you're currently in. MV is short for move. It's how you rename a file. You move it from one name to another. You specify it with move, your old or your current file's name, and then the name that you want to give it. And you can actually move a file from one directory to another this way. These things become paths. This would be the path to the file where it lives now, and this would be the path to the place you want to put it. You can copy a file or copy more than one file. This copy command has 2 versions. One is you just say CP, the current file's name, and the name that you want to call the copy. And those could be paths. Or you could say CP followed by several file names and then the name of a directory or path to a directory, and it will copy all of these files and put the copies in this directory. Here's a very specific example. This is going to copy a file named file that is housed in the directory /u /css /adamsxy /1440. And inside the 1440 folder is this file named file, and I want to copy it to the directory that I'm in right now, and that's what this dot does. This dot stands for the current directory, and so wherever I am, presumably I am Adams XY, or I wouldn't be allowed to copy a file out of his or her space. But maybe I'm in my 2440 folder and I want to copy this file from my 1440 folder. So I would go to the place I want to copy it, and then I would issue this copy command using dot, which means put it where I am right now. Here are 3 more, and then we'll go look at our Putty window. This is the way that you remove a file or delete it. It's RM and then the file name. You will probably have to confirm. It'll ask you, are you sure you want to do this? And you will type Y for yes. Cat is a handy command to know. It's how you can look at the contents of a file without actually opening that file in an editor. You can just print the file to the screen. Now some files you can't print. You can't print executable files, for example. But if it's a text file or a program file, you can display it to the screen with this cat command. It stands for concatenate. And one last one is the man command. If you forget how to use one of the Unix or Linux commands, you can type man followed by the name of the command. If you forgot the name, you're kind of in trouble. You're going to have to go talk to a human. But if you can remember the name, you just can't remember exactly how you're supposed to run it, then you can use the man command to help you out. Now I'm going to start up Putty, tell it to run, and double click the saved session called student. And here's my Putty window. Type my login name and then my password. Remember, nothing shows up on screen when you're typing your password. There, I'm logged in. Now let's practice some of those things that we talked about just a moment ago. The first one was the password command. I showed you that once before. You just type PASSWD and hit enter, and it will ask for your current password followed by your new password twice. I don't actually want to change my password, so let me tell you how to stop doing something that you started and you don't want to finish. You hold down the control key and you hit C for cancel. Control C. It will make that command go away. And here I am back at my prompt. This is called a prompt, and it actually shows you where you are on the machine in the file structure. This tilde means you are at your home directory, where you are when you log in. Let me do an ls command, which I did not show you just a minute ago, and this is a very important one. So here, ls stands for list, and it will show you a list of all of the files and folders that you have in your current directory. I have a lot of stuff. I've been using this account for a very long time. All of these ones that have slashes after them are folders, directories. This is a text file. It ends with .txt. This is a link that we won't talk about right now. Over time, you'll learn lots more about Unix. Linux is just a brand of flavor of Unix. So this is a listing of all of the files that I have. Now, while we're here with me telling you about the listing or the list command, let me show you some flags that you can use with list. If you put ls for list and then a space and then the minus character or the hyphen followed by an L, looks like a 1, but that's an L, lowercase l, that is asking the Linux system for a long listing. And if you hit enter, it changes the way that things are displayed to the screen. So you see a lot more information. Here are the names of the folders and files out here, and you will see permissions, file sizes, the owner of the file, the group that the owner is in. I guess this is the size of the file. I'm not sure what that is actually. The date the file was created. Lots of stuff, and those are things you can learn about. Let me move my window so that you can see my prompt is now at the very bottom of this window, so I'll just move it up a little. If I do a -a flag instead of a -l flag, then I am asking for all of my files. The A is for all, and it will show me even those files whose names start with dot. And look how many more files I have. All of the ones that start with dot are now being displayed to the screen, and one of them is a, well, I don't have it. Oh yes, there it is. C shell RC. Remember I told you about that's where the logout command is aliased as LO, and there are lots of other aliases in there, I think. But you have lots and lots of these hidden files that you can edit. Those are things that you can control. Tweak the way that the system handles your account. Now let's try some more things. You remember the change directory command? Well, let's see what directories I have here. Here's one called committees. Let's change directories and go to the committees directory. Now here's something very nifty that Linux and Unix will do for you. If you type the beginning of a directory name or a file name, and then you hit the Tab key, the system will finish it for you. So it knew from the COMM that was the only directory I had whose name started with COMM, so it was able to finish it for me. And if I hit enter, now you'd see how my prompt has changed. It shows me that I am in I'm in tilde, which is my home directory, / committees. If I want to go back up where I just was, I can say cd space .. Now watch what happens if I just type COM. You see I have committees and I also have compiler. If I say cd for change directory, COM, and hit tab, it beeps at me because it can't finish that. I need to type one more letter. If I type a P and then hit tab, then it knows I want the compiler folder. And if I hit enter, I'll go there. Let's see what's in there. Oh, a bunch of things. I taught the compilers class one time, and maybe I made this folder when I did that. I don't even remember. Let's go back up where I was. Let's make a new folder. Let's make a folder called chocolate. mkdir is how you make a new directory. Well, it would help if I could spell chocolate. Now let's do a listing. And there is the chocolate folder. And if I want to go there, cd chocolate. If I want to see what's in there, which is nothing, ls, and then to go back up, ... I didn't tell you about the remove directory command. I told you how to remove a file, but not how to remove a directory. You can only remove a directory if it's empty. If it's not empty, you have to first go remove all the files that are in it, and then you can remove the directory. Since chocolate is empty, I can type rmdir chocolate. I use tab extension there, and now it's gone. If I do ls, no more chocolate. Let's rename a file. Let's rename this todo.doc file to todo1.doc. We do that with move, mv todo, and we'll use tab extension. That's its old name. Now I'll call it todo1.doc. And if I do ls, you see the name has changed. Let's remove that file. I haven't used it in years, so it must not be very important. rm to, hit tab, hit enter, and it wants to confirm. Do I really want to do that? Why? And now it's gone. Let's copy a file. Let's copy this promo.tenure.doc file. CP for copy, PRO, hit tab. Not enough. Look, I have other things with PROs. PROMO, not enough because I had two. Dash, hit tab, and now it can finish for me. Let's copy it to promo or PRMO, whatever, 2.doc. Do a listing, and there's the whatever you want to say. Let's remove that. rmprmo 2.doc. Yes. I have a file here that I think will display nicely to the screen. It's this expr.C file. It's a C++ program I've written. So let's try the cat command on that one. Cat expr.c. Now notice that it's scrolled. So I'm going to have to move my scroll bar. You can see where it began right there. This is the top of the file. It's not my program, it's a program that a student wrote. Her name was at the top of the file. And she had some blank lines at the end of it. So That's why you're seeing that area of blank right there. And now let's try one last thing. Suppose I don't remember all the ways that I can use the cat command. I'll use the manual. Man, cat. And here we have a display of all the information that the system has on the cat command. You can use the space bar to move through this file. You can also use arrow keys to go up and down in the file. If you hit the end of it, you hear some noise. And to get out of it, you type Q for quit. Alright, that's enough for now. Let's log out. LO. In closing, let's just summarize. You've seen how to use the ls command to list files, the mkdir or makedir command to make a new directory, move to rename a file, remove to get rid of a file, remove directory to do the same thing to a directory, copy to do just that, cat to display the contents of a file to the screen, and man in case you forget how to use one of these other commands. There are many more Unix commands to learn, and you'll do that over time. The next thing to learn to do is to type files using an editor. Go watch the video on using the Vim editor.